Hey, so since, like, if you've seen my previous video on the movie Live and Let, You Only Live Twice, I loved that one. So I just finished this, a book version, and lo and behold, I liked it. Definitely not as much as the movie, but for different reasons, I really loved it. Um, in the books, this is the last of the Blofeld trilogy, being that Thunderball, although he does briefly appear. No, that's it. Thunderball, Honor Majesties, and You Only Live. So, unlike in the movies, where he appears multiple times, and his actual first appearance in the movies is um, not Diamonds, but is it Thunderball that he first appears in? I think technically he first appears in From Russia within the movies, but that's a technicality. Um, yeah, I think his first appearance is Thunderball in the movies too, but um, this is his last appearance in the books. Like he does die at the end. Um, in the books, I will say the biggest one of the biggest changes. There's a lot of changes, but the biggest change is that in the books he actually gets revenge on Uma Burnt, the woman within the movies and books who kills Tracy. He does get revenge on her in the books. I want to get too far in the book and the movies. Remember, please, for me, like, comment, subscribe. Subscribing does help. Any of it actually does help a lot. Sharing it, leaving a comment, liking it, all of that does help me. Anyway, um, the difference is going to be that the main end goal of Blofeld is one of the biggest things. So I'll get to the other parts too. But so Blofeld's plan in the movie. It was a bit more convoluted, where he's like kidnapping astronauts on each side of Russia and America and going to start a war between them because why not? Reasons. But in the book, it's interesting. In the book, he sets up a garden. Like he sets up a garden like out of a like an old castle near Fukuoka. Hopefully I said that right. Near like uh, Konshu area, but um, he says a garden full of like poisonous plants, like incredibly toxic plants. There's like sulfur there because there's a little volcano there too. Poisonous snakes, spiders, scorpions, like piranha pit. So that's the only thing that actually does cross over to the movie, really. But he sets that all up for the Japanese teens and dropouts and blah 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 to go there and end it. His whole plan is to go to different areas like Japan and areas of South America and stuff, and set up areas where people can commit suicide. Um, and I guess his reason is that I can kill people without being charged for killing them. Like, it's like, look, it's not my fault people went there and died. I had technically nothing to do with it. Like, it's an odd plan, but I actually kind of really like it because it's just like subtle enough that isn't like a lot of his plans in the books are very subtle or like very like interesting. Because like Thunderball, yes, you have the nuclear bomb thing, um, but in like and then the downplay of like just trying to destabilize the UK through the getting rid of like the livestock and stuff rather than the world within the movie. And then this one just, yeah, just want people to kill themselves. Interesting enough. But one of the things I really did like is this being a sequel to Majesties. It does begin off with Bond just depressed. Um, like just because like in the movie he's angry. and he's trying to find Blofeld, and he's just angry. But this one, he's pretty much given up. Like, M is like pretty much just asked to be like, look, just give him something, something that would like just kick him in the butt and get him to get back into it. Um, so he was like, okay, yeah, I gotcha. There's like a ambassador thing you can help with in Japan. So he pretends to be Australian and helps in Japan with that. But while in Japan, this is the different thing, is that he's not looking really for Blofeld because he doesn't even know that Blofeld's there. What it is that Taika Tanaka, who's pretty much like the head of the Japanese Secret Service or whatever, um, is like, hey, can you do me a favor? Since they work on like an honor favor system kind of thing. But he's like, can you do me a favor? He's like, yeah, I got you. So I know you want this important like information from us, but for me to give you to that, can you just get rid of this guy who keeps like who owns his castle? Because people just keep going there killing themselves, and we don't really want that. Like, we're cool with that. Like that's a way to restore honor and all, but we don't really keep wanting people going there and doing that. Like, it's not a good look. But just get rid of them for us, okay? Uh, so he does. But yeah, so like the differences or like that. Um, Bond and Kitty have much more of a relationship in the book. It's still at the very tail end, and it's dicier in the book, I would say. So I would say actually in the book, this is the one book where Bond gets assaulted sexually and stuff. Because okay, spoilers by the way, but in the book, um, Bond I'll get to how Bond got in the situation, but at the end, Bond gets amnesia. And he gets taken in by Kitty and her family and stuff. And presumably, they do stuff because she visits a sex shop and stuff. But um, he has amnesia, so he doesn't really know who he is, and he's like still thinks he's working under his second fake identity, being like a Japanese coal miner. So the that's interesting. I would say that's an interesting one. Um, but so how he gets there is the interesting thing. It's the funny thing. He still learns how to be a ninja, much like in the movie. Um, yes, Bond learns how to be a ninja, but so he sneaks into the castle or whatever. That's when he like pretty much like right before that he finds out it's Blofeld because he sees a picture's like, oh, that's Blofeld. Oh, that's Irma Blunt. Oh, okay. I'm definitely gonna kill them now. Cool. But there's no like volcano. Well, there's a volcano layer, but it's different. But there's no like giant ships. There's no huge force he has to face. He doesn't have an army with him. What he does do is that he fights Blofeld in a sword versus bow staff fight. Bond has a bow staff. Blofeld has a samurai sword. They fight. Bond strangles Blofeld to death. Much different than how Blofeld dies in the movies, where the movies I think he's like picked up by a helicopter and thrown down a uh, chimney chute, which is ridiculous. Maybe not as equally ridiculous, but ridiculous. And then Irma is blown up in the volcano because like the volcano's erupting and stuff. Bond's escaping in a hot air balloon, and then he falls, and that's how he gets amnesia. So this one definitely it ends on a like cliffhanger, like setting up the events of Golden Gun, because this one he's like, you know what, Vladivostok sounds familiar to me. I'm gonna go there and investigate. And then, he gets tied up with Russia stuff. We'll get to that one when I finish Golden Gun. But I really like this one, especially the ending. Like the whole thing about the poison stuff and pretty much how he gets into it is a lot more interesting for me. And just him in Japan's just kind of fun. Um, I don't. I would say out of the Blofeld trilogy of the books, I would say this one probably ranks the top. This one's a very close second. Like Blofeld's plan in this one's better than this one. I like the final battle and stuff in this better, but the general vibes of Majesty I like better. So like they're close, but they're both way better than Thunderball. Um, oh, that is the other thing. So there is a bit in where, yeah. So the bit in the book where they're listing out like all of the poisonous plants that Blofeld has, like all of a bunch of things that will kill you instantly and all that stuff. And then two of his poisonous plants are poison ivy and poison oak from America, or USA, whatever. Um, those ones are the least troublesome plants at all. Like, they give you a rash. And that's about it. Like, you didn't even want to pick up sumac. Like, even, like, that one's a bit worse because it goes, for those who aren't in it, don't live in the USA, in terms of badness of these poison plants, ivy, oak, sumac. And really, it's just more irritation and how long the rash stays. Like, some people have bigger issues than others, but they're not really that bad. And the fact that they're there is really funny to me. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. So, I did mention that they keep the piranhas. So, in the book, people jump into the piranha pit and get eaten by the piranhas. In the movie, Blofeld has the whole thing about, um, Blofeld has the whole thing about, uh, 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 he has that piranha pit. He throws some of assistance in there and stuff. Not in the book. In the book, it's just there for people to jump into. Um, yeah, I like that he's very passive in this one. It's much more interesting. It's a very interesting read. Uh, I did like it. I would say check it out for sure. I would say check out the Blofeld trilogy for sure, because the differences are interesting. Um, Till next time.